Today we are going to learn about group 18 elements. The group 18 elements include helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. They are referred to as noble gases or inert gases. This is because these elements are chemically inert and do not take part in any reaction. Let's now discuss about occurrence of group 18 elements. Due to their inert nature, all the noble gases occur in free state. All the noble gases helium, neon, argon, krypton and xenon except radon occur in the atmosphere. These gases make up approximately 1% by volume of the atmosphere, in which argon alone constitutes 0.93 percentage. Argon can be obtained from liquid air by fractional distillation. Natural gas deposits are the most important commercial and economical source of helium. Certain water springs contain helium, neon and argon in the form of dissolved gases. Radon is a radioactive substance that is produced by the decay of radium and thorium minerals. Now let's discuss about electronic configuration of group 18 elements. The general valence shell electronic configuration of these elements is Ns2Np6. Except for helium, its electronic configuration is 1s2. Due to the duplet or octet configuration in their valence shell, the elements of these groups are highly stable. Hence, they are inert in nature. Now let's find out the valency of group 18 elements. As these elements have stable configuration, they do not have a tendency to lose, gain or to share electrons. Hence their valency is 0. Let's now discuss about trends in some of the atomic properties. The first atomic property that we are going to discuss is atomic radii. As we know, atomic radii increases down the group. This is because as we move down the group, new shells are being added. The important point is that noble gases will have comparatively largest atomic sizes. This is because noble gases are monoatomic in nature and they are held together by van der Waals force of attraction. And we know van der Waals radii are larger than the covalent radii. The next atomic property that we are going to discuss is ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy is defined as amount of energy required to remove an most loosely bound electron from an atom. In class 11, we have learned factors affecting ionization enthalpy. In that, we have learned if an element has stable electronic configuration, then it is very difficult to remove an electron from that element. Hence, that element has higher ionization enthalpy. If you consider group 18 elements, they have stable electronic configuration. Hence, their ionization enthalpy value will be very high. The next point is, as we move down the group, ionization enthalpy value decreases. This is due to their increase in size. As the size of an atom increases, the effective nuclear charge on a valence electron decreases. Hence, ionization enthalpy decreases. The next atomic property that we are going to discuss is electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy can be defined as enthalpy change when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom. If you take noble gases, they have completely filled orbitals. Hence, they have stable electronic configurations. So, they will not show any tendency to accept the incoming electron. If you are going to add an electron to the noble gas, its stability decreases. So, they will have large positive value of electron gain enthalpy. Now, we will learn about physical properties of group 18 elements. Group 18 elements are monoatomic gases. This is because they have the completely filled electronic configuration. So, they do not have the tendency to lose, gain or to share electrons with atoms of other elements. So, they will not form a covalent or ionic bond with other atoms. Hence, they occur as monoatomic gases. Noble gases are colorless, odorless and tasteless gases. They are sparingly soluble in water. They have very low melting and boiling point. This is because interatomic force of attraction existing between them is weak dispersion force or London force. The next point is, as we move down the group, melting point and boiling points of these gases increases. This is because with increase in size of an atom, magnitude of van der Waals force of attraction increases. So, helium has the lowest boiling point. The next important property of helium is it has a property of diffusing through rubber, plastics or glasses. Let's now discuss about chemical properties of group 18 elements. As we all know, group 18 elements are chemically inert. This is because of their stable electronic configuration, very high ionization enthalpy and more positive electron gain enthalpy. Now we are going to learn about xenon compounds. The first one to prepare xenon compound was Neil Bartlett in the year 1962. Everyone thought noble gases are inert in nature, so it will not combine with other elements to form compounds. Then you may question how Neil got an instinct to prepare xenon compound. In his laboratory, he prepared a red color compound using molecular oxygen and platinum hexafluoride. When he studied that red color compound, he found that ionization enthalpy of molecular oxygen is similar to that of xenon. So this gave him a clue. If molecular oxygen having such high ionization enthalpy can react with platinum hexafluoride, then why can't we try with xenon? So he mixed xenon and platinum hexafluoride and he was able to prepare a xenon compound, that is xenon hexafluoroplatinate 5. After this discovery, a number of xenon compounds, mainly with most electronegative elements like fluorine and oxygen, has been synthesized. These are the important points to be remembered regarding reactivity of noble gases. From this, you may get reasoning out questions in the board examination. Now let's learn methods to prepare xenon fluorine compounds. Xenon directly reacts with fluorine to form a binary fluoride, which may be xenon difluoride, xenon tetrafluoride or xenon hexafluoride. This product depends on the ratio in which xenon and fluorine reacts. When xenon and fluorine reacts in the ratio of 2:1 at 673 Kelvin and at 1 bar pressure, xenon difluoride is formed. The next is when xenon and fluorine reacts in the ratio of 1:5 At 873 Kelvin and at 7 bar pressure, it forms xenon tetrafluoride. Next, we will see how to prepare xenon hexafluoride. When xenon and fluorine reacts in the ratio of 1:20 at 573 Kelvin and at 60 to 70 bar pressure, we get xenon hexafluoride. Xenon hexafluoride can also be obtained by the reaction of xenon tetrafluoride and dioxygen difluoride at 143 Kelvin. Now let's learn about the properties of xenon fluorides. All the fluorides of xenon are white crystalline solids. They are strong fluorinating agents. For example, when xenon difluoride reacts with phosphorus pentafluoride, it forms xenon fluoride complex. Now let's see what happens upon hydrolysis of xenon fluorine compounds. When xenon difluoride is hydrolyzed, it forms xenon plus hydrogen fluoride plus oxygen. When xenon tetrafluoride is hydrolyzed, it also forms xenon, hydrogen fluoride, oxygen. In addition to that, it forms xenon trioxide. Now let's see in detail about hydrolysis of xenon hexafluoride. When xenon hexafluoride is treated with water in the ratio of 1:1, it forms xenon oxyfluoride plus hydrogen fluoride. When xenon hexafluoride is treated with water in the ratio of 1:2, it forms xenon dioxide difluoride and hydrogen fluoride. When xenon hexafluoride undergoes complete hydrolysis, that is when they are treated in the ratio of 1:3, it forms xenon trioxide and hydrogen fluoride. Now let's learn the structural aspects of xenon compounds. Let's start our discussion with xenon difluoride. In xenon difluoride, the central atom xenon undergoes sp3d hybridization. It has 5 electron pairs. Of these, 3 are lone pairs and 2 are bond pairs. Hence, xenon difluoride will have linear shape due to the presence of 3 lone pairs of electrons on the central xenon atom. Now let's learn the structure of xenon tetrafluoride. The central atom xenon is sp3d2 hybridized and it has 6 electron pairs. Out of that, 4 are bond pairs and 2 are lone pairs. The shape of xenon tetrafluoride is square planar due to the presence of 2 lone pairs of electrons on the central xenon atom. Now let's discuss the structure of xenon hexafluoride. In xenon hexafluoride, the central atom xenon undergoes sp3d2 hybridization. It has 7 electron pairs. Out of these, 6 are bond pairs and 1 is a lone pair. The structure of xenon hexafluoride is distorted octahedral due to the presence of single lone pair of electrons on the central xenon atom. Now let's learn the structure of xenon trioxide. The central atom xenon undergoes sp3 hybridization and it has 4 electron pairs. In that, 3 will be bond pairs and 1 will be lone pair. Due to the presence of lone pair of electrons on the central xenon atom, it has a pyramidal shape. Now let's learn the structure of xenon oxy tetrafluoride. Here the central atom Xenon is sp3d2 hybridized and it has 6 electron pairs. Out of that, 5 will be bond pairs and 1 lone pair of electrons. The shape of xenon oxide tetrafluoride is square pyramidal due to the presence of one lone pair of electrons on the central xenon atom. Now let's see how to find out the hybridization of a central metal atom in a compound. We have a formula to find out the hybridization state, that is half into B plus M minus C plus A, where V is the number of valence electrons present in the central atom. M will be the number of atoms attached to the central atom. C will be the total cationic charge present in that compound, and A will be the total anionic charge present in that compound. If the overall value is going to come to 2, then the central atom will be sp hybridized. If it is 3, then it will be sp2 hybridized, and it goes on. Let's take an example and we will find it out. For example, let's take xenon difluoride. In xenon difluoride, central atom is xenon. So it has number of valence electrons equal to 8. In xenon difluoride, number of atoms attached to xenon is 2 fluorine atom. So M value will be equal to 2. It is a neutral compound, so it is not having any cationic or anionic charge on it. So value of C and A will be equal to 0. Now substitute these values in the formula. So you will get the hybrid state value, which is equal to 5. So hybridization of xenon in xenon difluoride will be sp3d hybridized. These are some of the uses of helium. These are the uses of other noble gases. Students, kindly practice these questions in your notebook.